You know, it's funny. Sometimes a company's most valuable product is the one they never actually sell. Today, we're going to dive into how a secret internal tool, a seemingly boring engineering framework, can build an absolutely unbeatable billion-dollar advantage in one of the toughest industries out there.
Let me tell you, the world of AI-driven biotechnology is, well, it's brutal. We're talking about a staggering 60% of startups in this space just failing within their first 5 years. The stakes, they could not be higher. So what on earth is causing this massive flameout rate? And here's the thing. It's not a lack of brilliant ideas or incredible scientific breakthroughs. Nope. The real killer is this hidden cost, a silent drain that the source material for this explainer calls the $50 million development tax. It's the price these companies are paying for just being inefficient.
Okay, so let's dig into the villain of our story, the traditional old-school way of building software. This is that slow, super expensive path most companies get stuck on. And really, it's where the whole mess begins.
So what does this painful 2-year journey actually look like? Well, it kicks off with 6 months of design meetings and planning where not a single line of code is actually written. Then you dive into a full year of implementation, a phase that's just a mess of buggy code, goalposts that keep moving, and deadlines that, well, they just fly by. And the final 6 months? All spent on QA, trying to patch up all the problems, all while the company is just lighting cash on fire with zero revenue coming in.
And here's where we really put a number on all that pain. Think about it. 2 full years and over $17 million burned just to get a kind of mediocre product out the door. By the time you finally launch, you're already way behind.
Okay, but what if there's a better way? A different way? This brings us to the hero of our story, a pre-built engineering foundation called the Step 39 framework. This, right here, is the new way of building.
So what exactly is this thing? Well, here's a great way to think about it. Building complex software is like building a skyscraper. The old way, that's like making every single brick for that skyscraper by hand from scratch. The Step 39 framework, that's like being handed a state-of-the-art prefabricated kit. All the core parts are there, they're already proven, and they're ready to go.
And boom, right away you see the first huge advantage: speed. Instead of slogging through 2 years of development, you can get your product to market in just 9 months. I mean, a 15-month head start on every single competitor. That's a game changer.
But it's not just about being faster, right? It's also about the cost. Using the framework slashes development costs by 62%. That's almost $11 million saved. Money you can actually use to grow the business, not just desperately try to survive.
And the advantage goes even deeper than that. See, without a framework, once an engineering team hits about 50 people, it just descends into total chaos. But with this framework, because everyone is building on the same solid foundation, you can scale smoothly to over 120 engineers. No drama, no loss in productivity.
Okay, so we've established it's faster, it's cheaper, and it's way more scalable. But how does all that techie goodness actually turn into dominating the market and, making real money? Let's get into the payoff. Just look at this chart. It shows you everything. The difference in the outcome is just dramatic. The company on that traditional, slow path might get to $100 million in revenue by year 5. That's great. But the company using the framework, they're on track to hit $300 million. That 15-month head start translates directly into a $200 million revenue advantage.
And really, it all comes back to that number, 15. That 15-month head start is absolutely everything. It's time you spend locking down the market and signing up the best customers before your competitors even have a product to show.
And hey, remember those cost savings we talked about? Turns out, a more precise look at the numbers shows it's actually over $18 million in total savings. That's not just a number on a spreadsheet, folks. That is a massively extended financial runway. It buys you years of breathing room. Okay, and this is where the business model goes from good to absolutely world-class. We're looking at the LTV to CAC ratio. It's basically a simple question. How much money will a customer give you over their lifetime versus how much did you pay to get them in the door? A good ratio is maybe 3 to 1. The competition here is hitting 3.3. But this company, they hit an 80 to 1 ratio. 80! That's not just good, that's off the charts incredible.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, if this framework is so amazing, why doesn't everyone just copy it? And that is a great question. This is where the company builds its unbeatable competitive moat.
Well, the competitive moat here has two really high walls. First up, you've got the technical barrier. A competitor would have to spend 2 to 3 years and sink $20 to $30 million just to try and build something similar. And by then, game over. You're too far ahead. Second, you have the market barrier. By getting out there first, you lock customers into your way of doing things, which creates insane costs for them to ever switch away.
And this quote from the source material just perfectly sums it all up. A 5M, 10M cost for customers to switch means one thing. They don't. And that's it. That's the lock-in. You've won. The game is already over.
All right, let's pull back and look at the big picture here. Because this isn't just about having a great launch. This is a repeatable, 5-year blueprint for building a billion-dollar powerhouse.
Just look at this trajectory. It's incredible. See, that quick 9-month launch is the key that unlocks everything else. You nail product market fit in year 1, you're profitable by year 3, and by the time you hit year 5, you're looking at a $300 million business that's valued at well over $2 billion. Every single step is built on the foundation of that early speed advantage.
So when you put it all together, it's crystal clear. This framework isn't just some boring internal tool. It's the engine that lets you capture the entire market, set the rules for everyone else, achieve those insane financial metrics, and ultimately add over $1 billion in pure value when the company exits. It's the whole ball game.
And all of this leaves us with one final, really interesting question to think about. In a world that is completely obsessed with the next shiny new product, are we all looking in the wrong place? Maybe the most powerful, most lasting innovation isn't the product itself, but the factory that builds it.